It's actually going to be a good one because it's less scripted than normal. Sorry, it's not scripted. Well, usually it should be unwritten.
Always dreamed of playing in these games, and you go through life and there's so many people who say you can't do things.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 5 of Keeping Up with the Keynesians. Today I'm joined by some new panel members for today. We have Nathan van Blerk on my left and Fynn Ratcliffe on my right. How are you both today?
I'm very good.
Yeah, not too bad. Excited to start.
Brilliant. So today's topic, we are going to be talking about immigration and whether in the UK economy... Okay.
Good start.
It's an episodely occurrence. Cool. Right, okay. Today we're going to be talking about immigration and its effect on the UK economy. Fynn, what are your takes on it?
Well, I think it's a very controversial topic, but let me preface this by saying I don't think this is some kind of big right-wing issue. Yeah, it's not some kind of fascist talking point, but I would say legal immigration, yeah, okay. Anybody coming across the channel illegally, I think that is costing our economy billions of pounds per year, and there's a huge problem that needs to be addressed.
Nathan?
Yeah, I think the economic benefits of immigration are clear to see. There's numerous benefits for our workforce and our output generally. And yeah, I think there have been a couple misconceptions about immigration recently, and I hope we get to disprove them today.
Yeah, it's obviously a controversial topic. There's arguments both for and against immigration. Some argue it's an economic necessity. I mean, it can fuel that growth that you need, but then others can argue that it can have a negative effect on things like wages and so on, and unemployment. But before we debate solutions, let's look at where we are now in terms of immigration. The UK has seen record levels of immigration in recent years, both legal and illegal. Many sectors such as healthcare, tech and hospitality rely on these immigrant workers.
There's a lot of high-skilled immigrants coming to the UK, which is where you get a lot of them in healthcare and tech especially. I think there's something like 40% of people who currently work in tech in the UK are foreign-born. So yeah, high numbers there especially.
So Fynn, do you want to look at some of the challenges?
Well, I feel like saying that these people that are coming into this country are highly skilled is a bit of a myth, really, because we have some of the best and the most expensive healthcare training. I feel like people coming into this country from some of these countries don't have the same standards of education that we have, and bringing in potentially lower skilled and lower qualified people to fill these jobs is not necessarily the best thing. If we look at the care sector, for instance, they cost the NHS £300 million per year to treat economic migrants. Further 150 million is then spent on maternity care. 60% of illegal immigrants don't pay tax. 4 billion due to remittance payment. That's effectively when you're sending your money abroad, so that'd be like me earning money and then sending it to a family member abroad, and that's negative for the economy because the money's not moving around.
Yeah, but I guess you can argue you're focusing on the illegal immigration side. Our debate is whether if we closed our borders completely, would that have a beneficial effect to the UK economy?
I think potentially, because whichever way you look at it, legal or illegal, we still spend £1.2.5 billion on any sort of immigration enforcement.
So from that, I think it's fair to say that immigration as a concept might not necessarily be a bad thing, but I think the way we've gone about it and how we manage it, it kind of limits the successes of immigration.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think it just needs to be managed effectively. I mean, Nathan, do you want to look at what are the advantages of immigration?
You've got a number of ways that immigration can help fuel growth of UK GDP. For example, in 2022, 14% of all workers were foreign-born, and a lot of these foreign-born workers are working in high-demand sectors like construction and healthcare. We also know that skilled migrants are crucial drivers of innovation. Immigrants are twice as likely to start businesses as native-born citizens, which, living in the capitalist society that we do is absolutely key. In the NHS, for example, 30% of doctors and 27% of nurses are foreign-born. It's sort of recognised that without immigrant healthcare workers, the NHS would face even more shortages than it's already had in recent years.
From a neutral perspective, I think immigration as a factor is almost like a multiplier effect. If you're a failing economy, immigration might exacerbate that failure, but then if you're in a thriving economy, that could be the boost forward. So I think it's a double-edged sword in that sort of sense. Anyway, we're focusing on the UK here. So,
well, I mean, if we are going to draw on other countries, let's take Australia, for example.
I think we've gone on a slight tangent there. We're going to go on our episode, the side quest. I made a new game for this episode. It is called Guess the Entrepreneur. I'm basically going to give you 3 clues for each round about an immigrant entrepreneur and their company, and you're basically going to have to guess the company they founded.
Can I join in?
You can join in, right. Ross, the social media manager. Right. So I haven't actually scripted this one for once. So Number 1, I was born in Greece but moved to the UK as a child. I built a fashion empire that dominates online retail, and my company owns brands like Pretty Little Thing and Nasty Gal. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say.
It's got to be fast fashion.
No, I was gonna say like H&M took the pretty old.
Begins with a B.
Dodgy lady.
Boohoo man.
He's got it.
No way.
So, Mohamed Kamani, founder of Boohoo, who born in Greece but moved to the UK and founded this company.
He has some interesting ethics.
Number 2, I was born in India and moved to the UK as a teenager. I transformed a small pharmacy business into one of the UK's biggest healthcare retailers. My company owns Superdrug, the perfume shop, and Savers.
Savers?
They own Savers?
Savers, that's next to Spa.
It is.
It is.
Cheers, Jeff.
I'll be surprised if you know this one.
Well,
Probably older listeners might know it, but
Older listeners. Can the older listeners please?
please let us know.
Oh,
I think I heard a 40-year-old man from Brighton said, AS Watson Group, you are right, it is the AS Watson Group.
I think our average listening age is probably about
12.
So Mukesh Ambani was the chairman of the AS Watson Group, who owns all of these pharmacies. So these immigrant entrepreneurs are obviously vital to some of our key industries. We'll end on this one. Number 3, I was born in Pakistan and moved to the UK. I started selling samosas in my kitchen and built a multi-million-pound food business. My company supplies ready meals to major UK supermarkets. What business am I?
Oh, is it Gusto?
No.
Oh, what?
Sodexo.
Sodexo.
No, they don't manufacture.
This one's too hard. That one was S&A Foods.
Never heard of it.
This one you should get.
I don't more interesting.
Right, this one's more interesting.
Okay.
I was born in Russia and moved to the UK. I co-founded one of the world's biggest digital banking platforms. My company is known for its brightly coloured bank cards and easy-to-use mobile app. And it was sponsored by the Sidemen.
Revolut.
It is Revolut.
Oh.
So Revolut, founded by Nikolai Zoronsky, who was a Russian immigrant into the UK, big in the financial sector. We end on that one. If we go to our final takes, what should the UK do? I mean, policy was obviously important. I think we might not have grasped the right policy at the moment. I think that's fair to say. I think we could deal with it better. I think if we're focusing on legal migration, I think it's obviously essential in the multiplier effect. I think we looked at some of the case studies. We look at Bradford versus London. So either exacerbated the inequality or it's improved that growth. Any final takeaways from you?
I think, to be very honest, we've seen both sides of the immigration debate. I think this country at the moment has a lot of issues. Immigration is maybe just about scraping the top 5, so let's sort out issues like the cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, things like this. Let's sort these before we decide how many immigrants we should take in per year.
I think there's also a danger of saying that we've got problems in our country. A lot of people just blame it on the immigration. I think that's a dangerous road to go down. Finn, what are your final takes?
What Nathan had to say, to be honest, I think there needs to be a lot of negotiation in government about policy on a wider scale, and then focus on this as a more nuanced kind of thing, because there's so many caveats, which is kind of the problem.
I mean, thank you both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What are we doing?
I thought that was a very intriguing debate. I think you both covered some very great points. I mean, it's obviously a very conflicting topic, very controversial. That's the word. What do you think? Do you think we should close our doors or open our borders in an economic sense? Let us know. We have an email, keepingupwiththeKeynesians@gmail.com. All our socials will be up. What?
Pointing at
So I can edit
It's going to be for the editing. So yeah. And then we got up here. We've got the socials, which will be here somewhere.
Somewhere in this one.
Yeah, in the sky.
Just put it on Ollie's face.
Yeah, let's put it on here. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you. Well, we've got a quick break for Easter, but we'll see you in a few weeks. We have a lot of exciting topics, more debates, everything. So we'll see you then. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to both of you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Goodbye. Well done.
That was so much better than last week.
Yeah.
What happened last week?
Sorry, we've had a slight interruption.
Oh, get out, man.
James, I'm lose my shit.
I think the benefit.
The migratory pattern of the albatross.
US dollars.
Keeping up with the chains.
I'm going to say that was a successful game, but it kind of wasn't.
Nothing happened last week, that's the problem.
I think you were both very good.
I think it needs to be a mix. If we get one of you and then with James or Elliot.
There's a lot of complaints about James.
James is not coming on the pod again. James is just.
Should I get a little zoom?
Unless they keep it on the Keynesians.
There we go. Ollie looks like he's about to cry.
This guy took his Apple Pencil.